Breaking news tonight in the Troopergate investigation. Boy, I'm getting used to saying that. This scandal has taken more turns than a square dance at this point. Anyway, tonight's breaking news on the investigation into Troopergate: Sarah Palin's alleged abuse of power as governor of Alaska, her alleged improper firing of the state's public safety commissioner for refusing to settle a personal Palin family score by firing a state trooper. As you know, here's tonight's breaking news. An Alaska lawmaker heading up the probe says it will still be completed before the election, probably by October 10th, despite attempts by allies of Palin and the McCain campaign to derail the investigation. I all but declared Troopergate over on last night's show. Turns out I was wrong. Republicans have charged that the inquiry has been corrupted by politics and by supporters of Barack Obama, even though it was launched after a 14-0 bipartisan vote in the Alaska State House. Palin initially vowed full enthusiastic cooperation with the investigation. Now neither she nor her husband nor state employees are agreeing to straightforwardly answer questions in the probe. And Republican lawmakers are suing to try to kill the investigation altogether. Joining us now is Democrat Bill Wielechowski, an Alaska senator and a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee overseeing the Palin investigation. Senator, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Rachel. Glad to be there.
Yesterday, we heard Todd Palin was not going to show up and give a deposition in Troopergate. We heard that the investigation could be delayed until after the election. 24 hours later, all change. It now, at least sort of, looks like the investigation is back on track. That's what it seems like from here. What's your assessment?
I think you're accurate. The investigator has told us that he feels he can complete the investigation by October 10th. When the Legislative Council, 14 members, agreed to go forward with this unanimously, they set a deadline of October 31, and he intends to adhere to that deadline.
The independent investigator who was picked to head up this investigation, he is one of the people who the McCain and Palin forces, for lack of a better term, have been impugning in terms of his independence, in terms of his reputation, in terms of his status as a nonpartisan arbiter here. What's your reaction to that?
That's really unfortunate. What we've seen the last couple of weeks is a pretty much nonstop smear campaign by the McCain campaign to attempt to discredit a man who has given 25 years of his life to prosecuting criminals here in Alaska. He's got a sterling reputation. He was unanimously voted by the legislature several years ago to be the first head of the Office of Victims' Right here in Alaska. And it's really unfortunate to see what they've been doing to him and anyone really that steps forward and disagrees with the McCain campaign.
It seems like there has also been a real campaign against the reputation of Walt Monaghan, who is the public safety commissioner who was fired, whose firing gave rise to this investigation in the first place. Obviously, he's a different guy than the investigator Branch Flower, but has there also been a pushback or reaction in the state to the impugning of Chief Monaghan?
There has. I think Alaskans are very, very upset. Walt Monaghan, again, another individual with just a stellar reputation, 35 years of protecting Alaskans. He was the chief of the Anchorage Police Department. He was the head of the state trooper, one of the most respected individuals, quite frankly, in the entire state. And there's been a real pushback just from ordinary Alaskans to see, who are seeing that he's really being smeared, unfortunately, and dragged through the mud by the McCain campaign.
Can you describe how the climate around the investigation feels now as compared to when it started? And of course, when it started, Sarah Palin had not yet been tapped as John McCain's VP.
Right. This investigation, quite frankly, was pushed by Republicans. It was a number of key Republicans who wanted this investigation to go forward. It ultimately did go forward on a unanimous vote in front of the Legislative Council. 8 Republicans, 4 Democrats all voted to go forward with it. The House Speaker, who's a conservative Republican, voted to go forward with it. The President of the Senate, a conservative Republican from Governor Palin's own district, voted to go forward with it. The governor herself came out and said, I welcome the investigation. She's directed her staff to cooperate with the investigation repeatedly. In fact, she came out with a press release on August 13th directing her staff to cooperate with the investigation. The reason she did that was because at that time we were getting ready to issue subpoenas, and she said, no, you don't need to issue subpoenas, I'll cooperate completely. And she had cooperated completely. Everything changed, unfortunately, the day after she was selected to be the vice president.
If Todd Palin and state employees and aides to the governor refuse to testify, if they resist the subpoenas, is the investigation really hamstrung, or do you think that it can go forward and report in a full way by October 10th?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we've said all along, it's up to Steve Branchflower, the investigator, and if he thinks he's got enough information, if he thinks it can go forward, then it should go forward. And he's been working on this for almost a month and a half now. He's been working on it every day. He's collected quite a bit of evidence, and he's taken a lot of depositions already. And I think one thing that people forget is, of the people that were subpoenaed that failed to appear, we already have statements from them because the Attorney General had been conducting an independent investigation of its own, and he got that investigation where there are sworn statements by a number of those witnesses. So, you know, he wanted to talk to them himself, and they unfortunately are not allowing him to do that. But he still has quite a bit of information and feels that he can issue a fair and impartial report.
This is a big development in this case. The quashing has been quashed, at least in the short run. Alaska Senator Bill Wielechowski, thanks for talking about this with us tonight, and good luck to you.
Thank you.